DJ Cashmoney. Does he still exist? Is he still in the game or?
I don't know what he's doing right now. I know that he was one of the world champions. He was one of the world champions of the Disco Mix Club, the DMC.
So was that before?
That was before ITF.
And was that before the Cashmoney, the Cashmoney clique, or?
Yeah, that was years before.
Years before, okay.
That was like in, I think his was in '87 or '88 something, where he won. And the thing what he did that was so cool was normally people were back spinning, they were like, hit me boom, hit me boom, hit me boom. And he would take and chop up little words, and he'd be like, calling me a sucker boy, you sucker, sucker boy, you sucker, sucker boy, you boy, you sucker, sucker. You know, and you were like, how is he doing that? You know, and it was some stuff. And I had the privilege of meeting him when I was doing the heavy rotation recordings. So it was heavy rotation all-star mixtape. You might have heard about those. Yes. They had DJs that came from the States. They came like with all the different artists. You had like P. Diddy or Eminem, whoever. All these different artists came and they had their DJs. And so from the company Heavy Rotation, they had the idea to get after parties for the DJs and also take them to go get gear at the place was JMS, which is where they were able to go and get South Pole clothes and everything, you know, just promo clothes and everything. And then we did a radio show, a weekly radio show that was a 2-hour show that was playing in Berlin on Kiss FM. Yes. So when Cashmoney came in, and I watched this cat, and he was like 40 or something, and he was like, still rap, and I'm thinking like, I used to do the championships. Like I was in the championships a year after he won the world championship, and I was like, how can he still do this stuff after all these years? This was like in 90, no, this was like 2002 or whatever. Wow. And he had been doing this for the last 15 years, you know, and that he was still tight on it. And he motivated me because when I went home after I did that radio show with him, and I practiced, and I said, how can you do it? And I said, trip. And after a couple of hours, I had it back. I'm like, how? It's that riding the bike thing, you know?
Yes.
And
practice.
And then he told me something that was really interesting because I was like, yo, man, you know, you changed the game when you came out with that. When you came out with chopping up words, chopping up little segments, and we used to take the turntables and we would spin it back, like if you looked at it as a clock, and we have that's why you see these pieces of paper on the records. Yes. And you would spin it back to like 12 o'clock, and that's where that calling me a sucker, right? And then we'd just go, calling me a sucker, calling me a sucker, calling me a sucker, call. But he would go, calling me a sucker, and sucker was at 5. So he would go 1, 5, 5, 1, 1, 5, 5, 1, 1, and make these rhythms with different start points. Which now, if you do Serato, you have all that there. You can put 5 start points in a song, and then you can go and you can do that just by pushing buttons.
The machine does the rest for you.
Yeah.
So you don't
but the thing is he told me, he says, man, I'm not even the baddest. He said, the cat that taught me this, he doesn't even go out of his house. He doesn't go in front of people and do this. He says, and he's the one that showed me this, and he really gets busy on it. This was all before the digital age. So it was only with vinyl. You didn't have anything except your headphones to hear where you were at, and to see. You could actually, if you were doing the championships and you had your records marked, you had little pieces of paper that you would just put the needle on, and it would slide right to that spot, and then you looked at that line, and that line would tell you where this part is at that you're cutting in, so you could go just boom, put the next record on, and chop it in, and then backspin on them and so on. You know.
That's really interesting. So what was the award? What did you guys win at these
Well, I mean, he won by him it was World Championship. I think they got like a gold-plated Techniques turntable and stuff like this, and
a little fame.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got record deals out of that and everything, you know, because then people knew who they were and so on. And I was doing the championships at that time also.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I said, a year after he did.
And you was doing them successful. I mean, you had like.
Well, I made it to the finals. I worked 3 years. I did 3 years, and I made it to the finals in Germany. And even the year that David Fasher won,
Yes.
I was there, and I was in the top 3. And it was really crazy at that time because you had like who was it? Mark Spoon is out of Germany, right? He was really, he passed away now. Rest in peace. He at that time he was with We Wear the Crown, which was Moses P, Turbo B from Snap, and Rico Sparks.
So he was a DJ. Turbo B was a.
He was a beatboxer.
Oh yes.
And then you had from Snap. You also had Rico Sparks, also passed away. My boy, that was the first dude that invited me into Frankfurt into the studio scene.
And also into the Funkadelic, or is that to somebody else?
It was, well, I mean, we all had went to the Funkadelic and so on, and
which is in Frankfurt.
Yeah, and the Funkadelic was that was the epitome of hip hop in Germany. And you know, people can say, yeah, it started here, it started there. No, that's where it started. In the Funkadelic, every group that came to Frankfurt went into the Funkadelic. Afterwards, you would after all the after parties, everybody would go there because it was the only hip hop club, the only black club. You had all the other clubs that were playing techno music or playing that acid jazz at the time, which is kind of you know.
And it was off base too, right? It was like in the city.
And that was a difference also because you had your military clubs, and the military clubs you had your country and western nights, you had your soul night, you had your disco night, which they labeled the urban music or black music night as disco night, which basically, you know, I mean, even like I got a picture of me with a shirt that says SUPERJAM Disco because it was about my disco, my mobile disco.
Yes.
You know,